I've experienced some of this mindful firsthand. It helped to get me through. I was a nurse in the Air Force, and I was in Desert Storm. And believe me, if I didn't have my practice of being able to kind of center into the moment and to really welcome and accept what was happening to me with acceptance and trying to stay connected to my practice, I think it would have been a very different experience for me. Flash forward, I worked for Winchester Hospital in opening up the breast care center. We integrated these practices with our cancer patients to help them navigate, once they get that difficult diagnosis. And now, as a business owner, opening up a business, I'm sure you all can attest to this. It can be stressful at times, right? It can be very arduous. In fact, the World Health Organization has deemed stress to be the #1 health issue right now. It's the cause of most of our illnesses that we experience today. So behind us, we can see over 50 signs and symptoms. And I'm sure you're looking at that list and thinking, I got that one, or that one is hitting me. Exactly. The frightening thing is the cost of this. To our business owners, the cost of stress is now up to $20,000 per employee. And that is attributed to healthcare costs, absenteeism, switching from job to job. It's really, it can be quite crippling. And the beautiful thing is that there are some things that we can do about it.
Hi, so I'm Vanessa Gobes, and I've been teaching meditation for about 5 years, practicing for about 8, maybe a little bit more. And so we saw the list of stress, how it manifests in the body. So my question for you today is, where does it hurt? So this is where we want to engage with you a little bit. This is you. This is your body. So when you're feeling anxious, when you're kind of stuck in these places of rumination or high anxiety, high stress, high pressure, shout out. Where do you feel it? Okay, we got a headache. Where else?
Shoulders.
Shoulders, yeah. Oh, this is what kind of happens, right? Your shoulders go right into your ears. Where else do you feel it? In the chest, maybe like a little constriction in the heart, maybe a little palpitation, maybe the breath changes a little bit. You start breathing up here instead of down here. Where else?
Neck.
In the neck. We're very focused up here in the upper body. So I'm speaking in front of a group of people right now, and my hands are sweaty. So I'm manifesting some stress right here in my hands. So I'm going to go down here. How about the GI? Tight belly sometimes, things that we don't necessarily want to talk about right here, but things are happening in your belly that are probably not so great. Maybe RLS. Have you heard this advertisement? If you have restless leg syndrome, we have the answer for you. So maybe our legs are restless, maybe our feet can't stop going. So where do diseases or conditions like this really emanate from, right? What is RLS? How do you get that? It's stress. We can't sleep. Our legs are going like this constantly. How do we get to sleep, right? So meditation and mindfulness is really a practice that can help us get from this place where our body is sort of blowing up to a place where we're feeling composed and together. The other thing that happens too is when we're filtering all of these experiences through the body, it's really hard to be your best self, not only with your peers or with your family, but also in business. How are you your best boss? How are you your best employee? How are you your best salesperson when you have to work through this filter? It's hard. We know it because we experience it too. So we engage our mindfulness practice to help us alleviate our symptoms. So it really starts with symptoms. We're aware that something's going on, my body doesn't feel right, I'm having thoughts that aren't healthy, and then there's the awareness. Something's happening, something needs to change. So through mindfulness, it helps you to make the correction. You're going to correct this bad habitual pattern, behavior, and then we can move toward healing. So, is anybody here a meditator? We should probably ask here. Who meditates? Oh, good. Oh, one. All right, this is good. New blood. So, does anybody practice mindfulness? Because they are a little different. And I bet there are people in the room who maybe you don't call it mindfulness what you practice, but you're probably practicing it already and don't even know it. And that's what I was doing. I came into meditation and mindfulness actually through depression. So, just to differentiate the two practices, meditation is a formal setting. This is when sort of you can picture that monk sitting in lotus with his, you know, with the mudra-shaped fingers on his lap, oming away. This isn't the only way to meditate. There are probably, you know, dozens and dozens of ways to meditate, but this is one. You picture it more of a formal practice, but you don't necessarily have to be sitting still when you practice. You can do a walking meditation, and there are some different techniques we can chant. There are all different things you can do. Mindfulness is really when you're in flow. So maybe you might hear, especially professional athletes, when they talk about being in flow. You know, I always kind of flash back to this. Don't ask me which Super Bowl it was or if he was even in the Super Bowl, but I remember this sort of Jim Nance story where they were covering Barry Sanders, and he was talking about he can hold the football and really cut through the defensive line because he's in flow and he just sees it and he doesn't know how it works. It just works because he's totally present, totally in the moment. And you'll hear a lot of basketball players talk about this now, especially with the George Mumford book out, The Mindful Athlete. He works with Bill Jackson, teaching teams how to meditate, how meditation and mindfulness can bring them into flow and improve their performance. So this type of thing doesn't just happen on the athletic field or the basketball court, it happens in real life too. So we're trying to get to this place of flow where our minds and our bodies are in the same place at the same time. So even while we're sitting here talking about mindfulness and mindful flow, there might be some people who are grocery shopping. And I'm not offended, don't worry, because I would probably be doing the same. There are probably some people who are maybe reliving a conversation they had with somebody else at another time, or maybe looking out the window and thinking, gosh, it's beautiful out today. So it's really just a matter of getting your head and your body in the same space at the same time and putting the life in your years, right? We all want to have more years in our life, but how about life in our years, and how can that change the way we live? Okay. So there are a bunch of things that can happen when we're meditating. So again, this is a separate practice. This is the formal practice of meditation. Some are kind of frustrating, and they happen to everybody. So if you're sitting in meditation and this happens to you, don't feel like I'm doing it wrong. There's something wrong with me. I'll never get this right. You're going to sit down and you're going to shut your eyes and your mind is going to start to wander. And you are going to start to say, get me out of here. I don't want to sit here. I want to be moving. I've got a million things to do. This is the last thing on my list. I don't have time for this. This is stupid. This is not even fun. I am so bored. All of these things are going to happen. You're going to start thinking about something that happened 20 years ago. You're going to start thinking about something that happened this morning. You're going to start thinking about the worries that you have about your job, about your dog, about your kids, about whatever's going on. Your mind's going to scatter all over the place, and this is totally normal. So what we're trying to do is wedge that awareness into the mind. This is the formal practice. Oh, I'm not sitting here to ruminate or to worry. I'm sitting here just to practice meditation. And that is the process of holding on just to one point of focus while you're sitting in this formal practice. So there are some more pleasurable things that can happen too when we meditate. Relaxation responses can be induced sometimes almost immediately. If you are naturally gravitating towards meditation, you'll sit down and you'll love it. Some people just love it. Some people have to work at it. It's like anything else, right? So you sit down and you start to practice and you notice your belly starts to growl. Strange, but it happens, and this is relaxation response in action. And it happens all the time in our studio. You can hear it. People will always start laughing, so it's a little embarrassing. But it's okay, because this is how your body reacts normally to relaxation. Maybe you'll get a feeling of floatiness, maybe a little numbness in the fingers or in the legs. So just noticing that these things are very normal. So if you pick up a practice and start to try it at home later on today, or maybe if you come into the studio with us and practice with us maybe later this week, whenever, just be aware. There are all kinds of different responses that your body can have, and they're all very normal. And if they're not, if you don't think they are, come to us and ask us. And then sort of this last one we call it the gap. Sort of no space, no time. You lose track of where you are, and you just feel this overwhelming feeling of peace. Okay. So there's a a famous meditation guru. Her name is Sharon Salzberg, and I listened to her podcast, and she gave this great line. It was talking about meditation is like trying to scratch an itch through your shoe. So we can talk about it, but it's really not going to make sense until we do it. So let's try to get from here to composure just by practicing a little bit. So I'm going to invite everybody to close your eyes. And Denise and I will keep the room safe for you. So if you could take your feet and plant them on the floor. And if you don't want to, that's okay. But 2 feet firmly on the floor would be great. And then just find a little bit of integrity in the spine. So growing long in the spine. And bring the eyes closed. And if you're really uncomfortable closing your eyes, you can just cast your line of sight down about 6 feet in front of you toward the floor. And just park your eyes. So you're not looking or examining or judging whatever you're looking at. You're just parking the eyes there. It's actually perfect timing because the bells are so peaceful. So using this moment to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Noticing now where the breath is entering the body. Does it make the chest go up and down? Does it make the belly go up and down? If your breath is high in the chest, encourage it to drop so that as you breathe in through the nose, the belly rises. And as you breathe out through the nose, the belly falls. This may not feel natural, and that's okay. And if it's helpful to you to put a hand on your chest and a hand on your belly to better understand where your breath is coming in and out, you can go ahead and do that. So just noticing a gentle expansion of the belly as the in-breath fills the lungs. Becoming curious about the breath. There's nowhere else to be. There's no thought that needs your immediate attention, so as you notice the mind wandering, most likely it probably already is, as you notice the mind judging, welcome it to come back to focusing on the breath. As you breathe in through the nose, the belly rises. As you breathe out through the nose, the belly falls. Welcoming peace, welcoming composure, welcoming kindness and compassion, first to yourself. So just as the mind wanders, so does the body. So if you're noticing that the shoulders are starting to cave in, or the spine is rounding out, go ahead and use the in-breath to grow long in the spine, reaching the crown of the head toward the ceiling. And using the out-breath to open up. Let the shoulders just relax down the sides of the body. Let those arms hang. Creating space between the ears and the shoulders, peeling the tongue off the roof of the mouth, allowing just the tip of the tongue to touch the back of the teeth, creating space in the jaw, creating opening, encouraging relaxation. And then returning focus back to the breath. In through the nose, belly rises, and out through the nose, the belly falls. So we have a rule that we don't overdo it a little bit. So our look bell is very long, but I invite you to open your eyes if they're not open already. And just interested in hearing your reaction. Is this the first, let me see a show of hands first. Is this the first time you've ever meditated? If that was the first time you've ever meditated. Okay. So interested in hearing how you feel. What were some of your responses? Good? Excellent.
Lunch is good.
Oh, lunch was good. Lunch was good?
Oh, yeah.
That's a response to meditation. Lunch was good. Okay, I like that. Little reflection on lunch.
So relaxed, I can hardly tell you wonderful it was.
Oh, I like that. So relaxed, you can hardly share how wonderful it was. Okay.
Something to keep in mind, one, I think about layers of A, that breath, most of the breath is supposed to be.
Yeah, okay, so who had a wandering mind? I hope all the hands go up. Because most of the people probably will have some form of mind wandering during meditation, right? Even if it's only a 1-minute meditation, it's really, really hard to keep focused on the breath the entire time. So thanks for your honesty. Anybody else want to share? Who thinks that this is a practice that they might be able to engage on their own? Yeah. Who thinks this is all? Oh, good. I was wondering what kind of response we would get there. Okay, so we talk about meditation. We talk about mindfulness. Now, before I hand the microphone back to Denise, just want to provide you with a really practical way of stimulating this practice when you forget, right? Because this is the other thing. We want to be mindful. We're well-intentioned. We want to be kind and compassionate and patient. We want to be our best selves. But when life gets really busy and we feel really pressured and really stressed, those sort of top layer things start to go out the window, right? And I know this from experience. Poor Denise.
Just a quick question. How long should the meditation be typically?
Great. Okay, so how long should meditation be typically? So if you can get in 10 minutes twice a day, you're golden. If you can get in 20 minutes twice a day, that's awesome. But if you can only get in 5 minutes once a day, that's a great place to start. Once you get to know your practice better, it'll either expand into something more substantial or it'll shrink into something different, and then maybe turn towards mindfulness. If this is that meditation, mindfulness is the peace practice you want to engage in. The nice thing about focusing on breath is it's always there for you. So some of you guys might want to go out and shoot hoops in your driveway. And that's sort of like what you call your meditation, like go for a jog, or maybe you're a knitter and this is your meditation. But the nice thing is, if you have sneakers or not, if you have a basketball hoop or not, if you have knitting needles or not, the breath is always available. So it's nice to have this sort of as a backup. It's really foundational, right? I always have my breath, it's free, and I don't need to go anywhere to find it.
Yes, is there a specific time that's better to meditate, either in the morning or the evening? Is there anything that's proven that says, wake up in the morning?
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah, so is there any specific time that's more beneficial to meditate? So I would say bookends. So start the morning with 10 minutes and the day with 10 minutes. You can kind of set your intention for the day. Sorry, I'm stepping on Denise's talk a little bit, but and then at the end you have this opportunity to reflect a little bit. It's a great way to start and finish if you can do it. I personally, I am not a routine type of person. I'm all over the place. So I find that practicing mindfulness throughout the day when I can stimulate my memory, and then following it up with a formal sitting at some point, which is easy because I teach this all day long, so I'm meditating for 90 minutes a day as it is. So finding like a midday works for me. I'm great at 1 o'clock, that's my sweet spot. So I think you need to just listen to you and look at your schedule and know who you are. If you've got little kids at home and you want to practice as a group with your young children, that can be a really great thing, maybe even to do after dinner, before homework. Homework can be very stressful for young kids. It's a great opportunity to practice mindfulness and get centered, become aware of your feelings, so that when you notice the anxiety building up over pre-algebra, I'm watching anxiety. I know what you are, and I got a handle on you, right? I'm going to breathe through you, and I'm going to get through this assignment. Another question.
Vanessa, do you think the invention of the computer has slowed up our attention span? relaxing?
That's a huge question. I don't have an answer. I don't know.
Because everything is so fast.
I would imagine so. I mean, I think it becomes harder to be patient because we are so, like, you send out an email, you want a response right away. And then if you send out a text, you want a response even faster.
There's anxiety there.
And it can cause anxiety. It's like that anxiety, oh, I gotta get that faster, or where is that? I can't find the answer. So yeah, just noticing too that this is how I'm responding or reacting. When we practice mindfulness, we're really trying to create a response rather than a reaction, and wedging a little bit of awareness between our stress and our reaction to the stress creates opportunities for varying responses. So we're just opening ourselves up to more and better options than maybe this knee-jerk reaction, which might be yelling, or it could be heart palpitations, or frustrations, or so one quick thing. So I have this little bracelet that I wear on my wrist, and I wear it when I'm trying to train myself out of negative habitual behavior. So what I do is I wear it on my wrist, and let's say that I'm trying to train myself out of gossiping. Every time I go to gossip, I'm going to take this off my wrist and put it on the other wrist. I'm not going to judge myself. When we practice mindfulness, we're really trying not to judge ourselves because we're so hard on ourselves. We're really just humans. This is what we do, right? Every time I switch it, I'm just going to notice that I'm switching it. I'm not going to count how many times, but I probably will notice if I'm doing it like 30 times in a day that there might be a problem here, right? This is awareness. This is bringing awareness to our symptoms. My symptom might be gossiping. So in time, over weeks, I will notice that as I switch this little bracelet every single time, that I do it less and less because I'm aware of it. And then eventually, before I switch it at all, I might notice and stop myself from talking and not engage in the behavior whatsoever. So you can do this with really any behavior. I use gossip because it's kind of a chick thing, I think, a young chick thing. But you can really use it with anything that you're trying to train yourself out of. So that's where we find practical integration, where we can really use this method of mental health in a way that is sustainable, free, easy, and practical. So Denise is going to follow up, and I hope we're not running out of time. I think we've got a little bit left. Okay, Denise is going to follow up, and then if you have more questions, we can take some more afterwards.
So another little tip as you are at work, right? Busy in your day, and I'd like you to try this when you're maybe later today. It's best to take a break every 90 minutes. So personally, I will plug away, and I'm not good at this myself, so I have to schedule it on my phone to ring every 90 minutes. And at that 90 minutes, I'd like you can actually do it right now, sitting in your chair, sit at the end of your chair, and you're going to place your hands right in the back, right above your adrenal, right here, above your kidneys area. And you're going to inhale. As you inhale, the count of 5, and then as you exhale, you're going to gently press the heel of your hand around your lower back. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ideally, you do that 5 times. And when you're finished with that, then you do a twist to the right as you exhale. And as you're twisting to the right, you may feel, wow, I'm flexible, or no, I feel a lot of aches and pains or whatever. Just don't judge yourself, notice it, pay attention to it. And then inhale as you come back to center. Exhale as you twist to the left. Inhaling as you come back to center. How easy was that? Do you think you could do that? Right? Oh, maybe. But the point is that these are very doable, practical, realistic things that we can do. And it's really up to us, right? And we are here, again, for you, as I mentioned earlier. We're here to serve this community and every one of you here. So as you are plugging along in your work day and you come across somebody who's looking for a speaker, think of us, all right? If somebody's needing help in their business, think of us, okay? You have a wonderful network, and it's really our desire to spread this peace practice to as many people as we can, because it's our goal to have a happier, healthier, less stressed out Winchester, happier, healthier, more money in the pockets businessmen that they're not spending on healthcare costs. And we want a beautiful community because we have a lot of beautiful people here. And I think working together and collaborating, we can really make a difference. So we have, about wrapping up, it looks like, we have a meditation retreat, Sunapee, New Hampshire. Doesn't that look lovely? You want to go there? If you want to dig in, or if you know friends, anybody who would be interested in something like that, you can go onto our website, find out a lot more information. And again, we would love it if you could share this information with the people that you know, because we're depending on this retreat to make some money so that we can really grow in our business and reach more people. So the more support we get and we fill up our beds there and our Zafus and everybody's meditating, the more people we can touch in the upcoming year. So we appreciate that. We are so blessed and thankful that you are allowing us to come and share your lunch with you and listen to us and actually practice a little meditation with us.
Yeah, it's nice to have this time to reflect. We were having this conversation this morning that, you know, we live in a dense population. We are surrounded by people all the time. And the people are either criticizing or supporting the decisions that we make. And it's hard to feel true confidence in your own creativity when somebody's always judging what you're doing. And so the beauty of this retreat is that it's 4 days to just be quiet and not have to listen to what other people think. And be able to form real ideas and to be able to cultivate real creativity on your own terms and in your own way, because you are the expert in your own life. You're the boss. You're the boss. There's nobody else who can live your life for you. So it's really important that we learn to listen to our intuition. And this is just an opportunity to do that, removed from the hustle and bustle of this community that we love so much, but it's a little funky sometimes. Any other questions? Really, this has been a real blessing for us.
Thank you
And
so
we're so
much.
grateful. Thank you.